My name's Vincent. I'm a butcher. But the meat I sell isn't exactly ordinary. People go crazy for it, coming back again and again. Only they don't know that the meat is actually human. It all started just a month ago. I was standing behind the counter when a gang of vegans burst into our shop. They were all wearing masks, shouting, smashing the display cases, and pouring some kind of red slop all over the place. I didn't lose my head, managed to knock one of them to the floor and ripped off his pig mask. His accomplices, calling themselves some kind of vegan force, immediately scattered, and I was left amid the destruction. That evening, my wife Sophie complained to her friend Stephanie about our life. She said that I had never given her a gift in all these years. Stephanie, wanting to support her, invited us to a restaurant. But the usual dinner quickly turned into them bragging. They're always showing off their wealth. Mark, who handed me a firearm, said that with it I could get any boar. To prove it, he shot a rubber duck in a pool a couple of times. It was humiliating. On the way home, Sophie admitted that she envied them. They have a successful business, they travel, and they have a lot of money. Then, looking out the window, she said what I was afraid to hear. She asked for a divorce. And at that very moment, I noticed the vegan who had broken into the shop on the road, on his bike. The handlebars jerked, and there was a dull thud. Maybe it was an accident, maybe not. I won't lie, I was beside myself.
Sophie and I jumped out of the car. The guy was lying under the wheels, not breathing. My wife's eyes showed not fear, but some kind of steely determination. Call the police? No way. She suggested covering it up, and I agreed. I'm a butcher. I took my sharpest knife, and we cut him up into pieces. Even the dog got a piece. Judging by the way she was smacking her lips, she liked it. In the evening, we were watching TV, and Sophie announced that from now on, we would be sleeping in separate beds. In the morning, I arrived at the shop later than her and was horrified to discover that she had sold the piece of ham that was in the refrigerator. The customer admitted that it was incredibly delicious meat and asked for 10 more pieces. But there was a problem. It wasn't pork, but vegan ham from a vegan who had been riding a bike just yesterday. I tried to hint to my wife, but she didn't understand. Cut off a piece herself and ate it. She said, "Delicious." I had to lie and say it was special pork from Iran. When we were alone, I confessed everything. I wanted to throw away the leftovers, but Sophie stopped me. "Try it first," she said. I refused. It's not normal. But then a new customer came in and also asked for ham from Iran. We sold a lot that day. Even a local police officer, a lover of good food, bought ham from Iran from us. In the evening, I wanted to find out what they liked so much about this meat, so I fried a piece and tried it. Damn, it was really delicious. Sophie was happy that we were finally making money. We even joked that vegans should be raised like cattle or hunted. Then, our daughter, Chloe, came to visit us with her new boyfriend, Luke. It turned out that he was a vegan. Fortunately, he's not like those activists. Chloe admits that she doesn't eat meat anymore either, because otherwise Luke won't want to kiss her. The guy also refuses to eat vegetables because they were lying next to chicken. And he doesn't drink regular wine, only vegan wine. It's a type of wine that doesn't kill any insects during production. According to Luke, cheese is a crime against humanity, and cakes cannot be eaten because they contain eggs. There were more and more customers, and the meat was running out. So, Sophie and I decided to go to a vegan restaurant to hunt. We needed the perfect option. Not skinny, not fat, and definitely not a woman. That would be immoral. We tracked one down. I rushed at him with an axe, but chickened out at the last moment and ran away. I lied to my wife that he was a martial arts master. But Sophie didn't buy it and suggested another plan. We infiltrated an animal rights protest, met a fanatic, but he wasn't right for us. We had to invite him to a meeting. He brought 2 others with him and suggested raiding a slaughterhouse. We agreed. We put on white suits and masks and went to Mark and Stephanie's slaughterhouse. We wreaked havoc there. I looked around for a suitable candidate, but never found one.
After that, we had a falling out with Sophie, and I left. While I was gone, she met some vegan waiter and took him home. I came back, saw this scene, and flew into a rage. Sophie looked at me and said, "He's not a man, Vincent. He's Iranian pork." I grabbed the knives, but I was afraid that the meat would be tough from the stress. We decided to relax it first. Sophie gave him a massage, and I couldn't make up my mind. But when I saw him undressed, something clicked inside me. I knocked him out. We were about to get started when we heard footsteps. It was Chloe, who had returned after arguing with Luke. We kicked her out of the house so she wouldn't see anything. We quickly cleaned up and prepared a new batch of Iranian pork. Everything unnecessary went into the river. In the morning, Stephanie came in, all in tears. The slaughterhouse had been ransacked, huge losses. The policeman who came with her asked again to sell him some Iranian ham. Demand was growing. We had to hunt again. We became real predators. Every day was a new hunt. We raised our prices, but people kept coming. Once, we tracked down a vegan named Vinny, but he noticed my axe and ran. We chased him through the forest. Sophie called him on his cell phone. He was distracted by the call, and his heart gave out. Perfect. Once, we had lunch with Mark and Stephanie and treated them to a delicacy. They liked it, until Mark found a pacemaker in his piece. Questions began, then an argument, then a fight. Mark and I fell into the pool, and in the heat of the moment, I bit his ear and told him he needed to eat more vegetables. After that, Sophie and I became close again. Hunting brought us together. We felt like we were in control of our lives. Once, at a picnic, some yogi demanded that we give him space to do a sun salutation. We gave in, only to turn him into another piece of ham. But the further we went, the scarier it got. Luke began to suspect that the butchers' union was responsible for the disappearance of his friends. The policeman demanded meat more and more insistently. I panicked and kicked him out. I realized that we were on the brink of disaster. When Luke came to us to make peace, I couldn't bring myself to raise my hand against him. I sent him away. I told Sophie that I'd had enough. The next day, I announced to customers that we were out of Iranian pork. That day, while I was walking the dog, the same vegans we had trashed the slaughterhouse with broke into the shop. When I returned, my neighbor told me that Sophie had been taken to that very slaughterhouse. I rushed to save her. With the help of my dog, I managed to kill almost all of them, but one of them seriously wounded me. Sophie managed to free herself and came to my aid. And then they caught us. After the pacemaker incident, Mark and Stephanie began their investigation and tracked us down. The court found us guilty. In 3 months, we killed 30 vegans. They called us the Butchers of Malun and sentenced us to life in prison. Was it a fair punishment? I don't know. I was a butcher. I just wanted to save my business and my family. In the end, I lost everything.